Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Liam Murphy back as we try to win Best Ball Tournament numero quattro, number 4. Apologies for the last video. Apparently, some people said, brother, you're slurping the mic too loud. You know, we all draw back. Some people, they give bad takes. Apparently, I drink water too close to the mic. Let's open today with a discussion on Mr. T. Hunter, Mr. Travis Hunter. I fired off that meme I was talking about. And it says, CMC has risk, but think of his upside. And there's a big line of people there. Travis Hunter has risk, but think of his upside. No one's in line there, right? And I said, as Travis Hunter, the second overall pick in the NFL draft, approaches the 6th round in best ball drafts near you, a meme to illustrate how the market isn't logical when treating risky players. This is meant to compare the risk of the players. Unfortunately, a lot of people, I guess they said poor reading comprehension or something. They thought this meant to compare the upside of them. Of course, CMC goes in the 1st round because he has mega upside, right? And a lot of people, they understand this. They understand he's risky, but they're down with it. They're like, nope, just got to do it. Just got to take him at pick 7. Got to take him at pick 8. Got to do it. Travis Hunter, you know, does he have downside? Of course there's downside. He's a rookie, right? Rookies could bust, as many people wanted to say. Many people wanted to say. By the way, Jesse Morris, he's on he thinks Hunter's risk is upside. So if you're out on Hunter, you're on Team Jesse. Tough. So yeah, fired this off. Jacob Sanderson retweeted it. He's on my side. He said, there are simply a lot of touts who are not trying to win Best Ball Mania. They are trying to post victory lappable takes. From that perspective, fading high variance players makes sense. But if you're trying to win Best Ball Mania, you should draft Travis Hunter at the 5-6 turn. There's no compelling case for the 2nd overall pick in a high upside offense to be drafted behind Calvin Ridley and Cortland Sutton in a tournament where you're trying to finish first of 672,000 people. Yeah, Cortland Sutton, not a name I've clicked once this year. But if you're treating content like prop bets, fading him becomes more rational. You know, Jacob's point there is that most players fail. And so if you just want to fade a risky player, you're going to be right sometimes, right? Now, I actually think CMC is a lot more risky than Travis Hunter. Why is that? Well, it's because he goes 7th overall in the draft. So, you know, I was an econ major in college, so the concept of opportunity cost hits home with me. When you take CMC, you are inherently fading Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, Devon Achane, right? Drake London, AJ Brown, all of Puka Nacua. You are fading those players. That is very, very, very risky because you are fading players that not only have huge upside and it could outscore CMC in a healthy season straight up, right? It's not crazy to think Malik Neighbors could just straight up outscore CMC. Nico Collins could just straight up outscore CMC, both healthy, right? So you are not only fading players that are safe, but also have huge upside, right? They're very safe, right? Nico Collins doesn't get hurt. He's going to be anywhere around 1,500 plus yards. And he's wide receiver eligible. Travis Hunter's opportunity cost is getting cheaper and cheaper. So you may think it's risky that Travis Hunter might play defense too much. Might only run 50% of the routes. But he's actually a lot safer of a pick, right? And when you think about it, he went 2nd overall in the real NFL draft. What is Jacksonville's number 1 priority? It's to make Trevor Lawrence look good, right? I'm a believer in Trevor Lawrence, but the jury's out. So they got him an elite wide receiver. Many college talent evaluators think that Travis Hunter would have gone at least top 5 just on wide receiver ability alone. Now, mind you, for fantasy football, we don't even, and specifically best ball, we don't even really care if Travis Hunter is running routes on only 50% of the plays. If he runs a route on 50% of the plays, but has 2 touchdowns on 3 catches, boom, fantastic pick, right? We don't have to predict that in best ball. We just got to get him on the roster and say the spike weeks will come. Not to mention, he gets the Colts week 17. So, yeah. Many think if Travis Hunter pans out, he's going to be viewed like a Justin Jefferson, a Jamar Chase type of guy. So, if you want to be on the other side of that coin, my God, you must not subscribe to my channel. We're jumping in. Best Ball Mania. We're fired up. I'm not doing myself any favors, by the way. I want to just eat Travis Hunter at the 5-6 turn as much as I can. Oh my God. Look, I like Diami Brown in fantasy football, but people are using Diami Brown as a legitimate reason to fade him. Insane. We're gonna open with Best Ball Mania, Tyler. We're multi-platformed over here. And then we're going to go over to drafters. By the way, DraftKings, it's their best ball week. Apparently, they don't want to sponsor one of the top best ball channels out there. Tough for DraftKings. But big news on DraftKings, they have a mobile draft board. It's very laggy. It's terrible right now. I did 2 drafts at the same time last night. Does not work at all. But it's a step. It's going to work. Some people with some historically bad takes, no offense, out on Hunter. I mean, let's look at the 5-6 turn. Around number 60 is where I've been getting Hunter. On DraftKings, you can get him even later. You got to fade at wide receiver. You got to fade Calvin Ridley. You got to fade Chris Olave. You got to fade Juwan Jennings. Now, I like some of these guys too. Rome Odunze. You got to fade Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Harvey, James Conner, Henderson. You don't got to fade all of them because you get 2 picks there, but just a pretty cheap opportunity cost when you think about it. So, yeah, I like CMC, of course. I'm going to be underweight on him, though, because I think people think about risk the wrong way in best ball sometimes. It is true, and this is why I don't fully agree with how Jacob views the contest. I've heard him talk about this before. Jacob and I agree on a lot of things, but I don't think he thinks about this perfectly right. But it is true that you need to finish first out of 672,000 entrants to win $2 million, right? Puka Nacua is an always at the 7 guy for me. The fact that his ADP is 7.9 is an indication that there's an edge in this field. This game's beatable. Wow, Bowers, number 8, getting unique out here. But yeah, I don't think talking about risk, right? Like, I generally shy away from first round picks who have more risk to them. This is why I've been underweight a lot of roster killers in the past. I've been, the year Austin Eckler and Travis Kelce busted in the first, didn't have them. The year that Zeke, Kamara, and Derrick Henry busted in the first, didn't have them. Last year, I just jammed Jamar Chase because, okay, that one was just clear as day to me. So I was okay fading the other players. But anyways, why I'm generally going to be underweight a risky guy like CMC in the first is because it's not true that you need to you don't need the highest upside pick at every round, which I would accept. If you want to say CMC is the highest upside player in fantasy, I would accept your thesis. Don't even know if we can say that because I don't even know if we could, the typical snaps he's played in the past, I don't think we can confirm that will hold true. Right? But, there's risk in every pick, but there's also a lot of upside in these wide receivers I just highlighted. Puka, Nico, Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas. So, and it is, you don't need to beat, the London Puka week 17 stack. Whew, nuts. It's probably like the Amon-Ra CeeDee Lamb one. But you don't really need to beat 672,000 entrants. You need to finish 2 out of 12. And then you need to finish 1 out of 13, 1 out of 16, and then beat 539 teams, which is it's just a different equation than you need to finish first out of all 672,672 teams, right? It's a different thing. So I don't really fully agree with the concept that like, oh, if a guy can't be a league winner, he has no value, which is more how Jacob views it. Like Jacob views this as like, well, you get 18 picks to hit league winners. Taking any guy who is not a league winner is a waste of a pick. Like, I don't agree with that, right? Because a guy can just give you a spike at the right week. But I do agree that as cost gets cheaper, if you think a guy can be a league winner, and Travis Hunter, my God, if Travis Hunter hits, it's like 1,300-ish yards, 8 touchdowns, You're going to know soon. But yeah, as guys get cheaper and you think they're going to be a league winner, you should be really overweight. I like drafting the one hole's my favorite pick because Jamar Chase is the best player in football. But then I like every back half pick better. Pick 6 touchdowns should not, I believe, will not count. We won Best Ball Mania 2, and then the next year we won the DraftKings 555 and the DraftKings 2180. Same year. We've also gotten 5th in a puppy. We've also gotten 30th in Best Ball Mania last year. So no one-hit wonder over here. We're going to try to do the Terry Jaden thing. Probably a little bit less likely to get that since I talked my thoughts, but you get it. When you take Terry, you typically get Jaden a lot. If I don't, that's okay. Right? Like Terry is a pick that someone like Jacob would be out on because he, he scored a lot of touchdowns last year. He's probably being a little bit overdrafted to his median. But like my thought process is, number one, Jaden Daniels goes Burr. Number two, yeah, like, okay, he's going to regress in touchdowns probably, but probably still could be around 7-8 touchdowns. And he gets the Cowboys week 17. So I'm okay betting on Terry. I'm okay betting on Mike Evans to just give me touchdowns at the right time. Because that's what I think the game we're playing is. So we don't get Jaden. RB start, going for a naked quarterback. Lock that in. Very nice consolation prize. We get James Cook. Another guy who a lot of sharp fantasy analysts will be out on. He's due touchdown regression. He scored so many touchdowns last year. That can't keep up. He doesn't play enough snaps. I simply like betting on the player who plays for probably the best offense in football, right? In the Bills. Elite O-line. There's many paths to Josh. Like, Cook could hit touchdown regression and Josh Allen could touchdown regress. Josh Allen is not guaranteed. We should not predict that every year of his career, he's going to take 12, 15 touchdowns. As he gets older, I'm expecting him to get this number much lower because they're just not going to need to do it. There's chances the Bills defense is also very good this year. They're favored in literally every single game they play this year right now. But they invested a lot on the defense. So we could easily see Josh get this number down to 5 and ask yourself, where do those touchdowns go? They're going to go to guys like Cook. They're going to go to guys like the pass catchers. Another reason why Cook could be risky. Maybe Ray Davis is the goal line guy. I personally think Cook ran very hard last year. So, yeah, I liked how Ray Davis looked too, but former second round pick Cook, there's a lot to like. Fast guy. Like when I take Cook, I like to tell myself I'm drafting like a cheaper Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm drafting a cheaper Achane. Yeah, love the matchups for like I think Bills players will be overrepresented in the Best Ball Mania finals. Wow, what a gift. JMO at pick 55? I thought those days were over. An ADP of 46? So a full round discount on him. Of course, we didn't get Travis Hunter in a draft where we talked up Travis Hunter. And that's like, look, that's okay. I have a big bag on Hunter. But yeah, I think Bills players will be overrepresented in the Week 17 finals because of them getting to play the Browns and Patriots weeks 15 to 16. The thing is, Tyler, things change in the NFL, and they can change in a big way. Last year, it was, oh, Cook doesn't play the goal line. That changed, right? By the way, folks, thanks for being here. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 8K. You can get my rankings at beatbestball.com. Going to get some articles out there this week, too. Yeah, Underdog's got some new Underdog sharply dropping new contests to compete with DK's Best Ball Week. Hilarious, right? They got rookies and sophomores. Maybe we'll do one of those after this. I think they're quick. I don't know. We're winning $2 million right now. We'll look at the other drafts after. Terry without Jaden, forced uniqueness, you know? Simply going to be paired with Jaden at such a high clip. All right, yeah, I think this is clearly a running back pick for us. James Conner is just, he's a guy who I opened the year liking quite a bit because of how bad Trey Benson is or was last year. And for whatever reason, I've just not been getting him as much. I think it's because of how much I take wide receivers in the 5th through 6th. So happy to take him here. Gets the Bengals week 17, which, you know, Cook's matchup against the Eagles week 17, that could go either way. He could catch touchdowns that game. He could also be bad that game. Eagles defense, obviously good. So getting a guy who I like his week 17 matchup where RJ Harvey against the Chiefs, that's not a great matchup to me, week 17. James Conner, forever disrespected. So pretty fun start. 2 running backs, 4 wide receivers. A classic good way to start a draft. You got some target dominant guys. I mean, Terry could hold out, so he's somewhat risky himself just for like the holdout risk. Garrett Wilson just got paid, as did Sauce Gardner, so I don't think Terry McLaurin is nearly as good as Garrett Wilson. I think Terry's arguably better for fantasy football, though. I just love Jaden Reed, so we're taking him. It's been a while since I've drafted him. Yeah, these running backs are fine too. I don't really know what to do with Judkins, to be honest with you guys. I'm going to lower him in my rankings here soon. ADP of 83. Yeah, I did draft one on stream the other day. Well, I don't know what to do with Judkins. I do know what to do with Sampson and Ford. You should draft them. Well, I like Terry better than Garrett Wilson because I think Jaden Daniels will throw for a lot more touchdowns than Justin Fields. But that's just me. If Judkins only got a 4-game suspension, yeah, would have almost no change to my ranking process. I'd rank him lower because the market would, but like, I still think he should go ahead of like the Warrens of the world. We might be forced to take Judkins here. I want a third running back. Could take Warren too. Could get both. Pick 90. I don't know. His price is either going way up or way down. I'm not getting out over my skis on Sampson and Ford, but you don't really need to. Take them a round or two above their ADP. Yes, Jordan Addison's trial did start today. We should have some clarity there soon. I mean, I personally like Ford more. More people like Sampson more. I think it's up in the air. I've listened to some coach speak on it too. You know, like Sampson could be good. He could be bad. Ford, we've at least seen in the NFL. So I typically like the fact that we've seen Ford be productive multiple years in the NFL. And that's why I've drafted a lot of Ford already. I've drafted almost no Sampson, so I'd like to get some. Right, like he has an 800-yard season on his resume. He's caught around 40 balls in back-to-back years. My God. I'm drinking a smoothie, so the mic slurp folks are going to have to deal with it. I put a lot of ginger in there. We're struggling, guys. All right, we're going to have to get some water after that. Tyrone Tracy, I like to mix them in, especially because I don't draft Cam Scatterbo. I mean, of course he did, but kind of crazy, right? All right, I'm getting water after this pick. Yeah, this is why I like Ford too. Especially, last year I kept on drafting him. Like, he showed an ability to have long speed. This guy just took Goff with a Monroe. Okay, logical. We got a lot of quarterbacks open, so not too worried about it. Travis Kelce, not a guy I ever draft. Don't have to worry about it. I mean, obviously I'm not a legal guy, but The worst case for Judkins is twofold. Number one, it's like, I don't know, arrested in jail. Number two, it is, I like Jordan Love a lot, so I don't really care what his ADP is. Be right back. I think I'm just getting over some cold here. So I don't know. Judkins, worst case, jail of some sort, probably. More likely, worst case would be that he gets put on the exempt list as they investigate, and then they hit him with 6 games. Definitely not a fan of domestic violence either. Doesn't mean I don't draft players with troubling issues. If you want to play that game, there's a lot of players you can't draft. You can't draft Tyreek Hill. You can't draft Joe Mixon. You can't draft infinite guys. A lot of bad people in the NFL. Newsflash. That's logical. I mean, most likely case is he gets a couple game suspension, I guess. I don't know. It is a weird case. I had to ban some weirdo in my Discord who kept on like downplaying it. Yeah, I like Kirk a lot. Crazy fall on Charbonnet too. But Kirk feels firmly an end of a tier. Opens up another quarterback. Puka, Drake London, Terry, James Cook, Jamison Williams, James Conner, Jaden Reed, Quinton Judkins, Tylen Tracy, Jordan Love, Christian Kirk. Javonte over Zach Charbonnet. My God. Interestingly, all the tight ends went. I like all these tight ends a lot. Was way ahead of market. Maybe they're going up in price. Tyler Warren over Colston Loveland. That's just wrong to me. It's a weird case where, I don't know, apparently violence occurred to her, and then they hung out for 5 days, and then she reported it to the police. How many are in there, Chris? I mean, I usually fade Joe Mixon because he's a really bad guy, but wow, Josh Palmer, pretty ahead of ADP there. Don't think there's any reason but to take Stroud with Kirk. I don't think people realize that Kirk could be just an absolute smash this year. A vertical slot, like when you take Kirk, you're basically trying to say I'm taking Tank Dell in the 11th round. Keaton Mitchell. Is that an auto? What was that? It's a totally normal draft by ADP. I mean, he must have put him in his queue, right? Here's the sim sites taking unstacked Mahomes and unstacked Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I guess the goal is to get to week 17 and lose. Or maybe it's the backstack. Justin Jefferson drafter maybe thought he was entitled to JJ McCarthy and passed on him. And this guy just took him naked. Michael Penix goes. He would have. He goes to the Bijan drafter. That seems fine. Love and Stroud is a definitely edge of like 2 to 3 quarterbacks. So Penix, Stafford, both quarterbacks I will entertain and maybe take. Want to do it a little bit more with just having the game week 17 stacked. So I think we're going to do that. We're just going to take Matt Stat here and get the Puka London game stacked up. Yeah, it's taken a while, but this is very obvious to me. Just because you dropped a lot doesn't mean you're good. The running backs? I don't know. Sacrilegious, of course, works with legendary upside. I guess their Sims have decided that unstacked quarterbacks is the way to go, is how I noticed they draft. I won't be doing that, but computer says to do this, got to do it. Three unstacked quarterbacks. I simply think week 17, when you have to beat the most teams, your best path to do that is to have a stacked quarterback and stacked wide receiver. Isaac Arendo, a guy I like a ton. Algier is entertaining because of the week 17 stack, but might even get him to fall a full round. Grendo, I think, simply has huge upside. He makes sense with me shorting CMC to get a bag on. Dylan Sampson, we see are climbing, but I don't know if we can really count it because this guy took Keaton Mitchell in the 12th. Okay, Chuck. This is true. And maybe it's because, there's a lot of reactionary stuff that happens year to year, right? Like some people had bad advance rates, and so they want to optimize to do that. Other people had a bad time with player takes and drafting wide receivers, so they don't want to take Travis Hunter. It's a lot of year-to-year stuff. I'm sure computers in 5 years from now will look at what the computers do today and be like, wow, that was idiotic. And by the way, none of this stuff is new. I had Dan Zach, former WSOP Player of the Year, on my channel years ago. And he was like, oh, yeah, I did some sim work and it said to take unstacked quarterbacks, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that sounds bad. I mean, Davis, you mean he's the guy who breaks the Trump getting shot news? He's the guy who breaks any news you could think of. So a tight end would be cozy, huh? Mr. HH. Let's do Eckler first, though. I don't know. Our wide receivers are good. Are we just going to end this with 3 tight ends? 3-6-6-3. Call it the Fareed. Don't think I needed a 6th running back, but with Judkins questions, why not? Gonna go 3 tight ends, probably. Just so strong at wideout. Even if Kirk loses his job late, 5 studs. If you're wondering why I said call it the Fareed, maybe you could say I needed Hunter Henry more, but I always like doing running back wide receiver correlation, which Eckler and Terry gives me running back wide receiver correlation, right? I can tell myself the story that Eckler has a rushing touchdown or 2 against the Cowboys. Terry has a passing touchdown because Eckler has the rushing touchdowns. You don't need to have Jaden with him. Fareed, he won BBM 4 with a 3.663. I did miss out on 3 tight ends I like, specifically Henry and Gesicki. But I did get Kate Otten, who I also like a lot. So, nice consolation prize. Eckler and Kate Otten, probably better than Hunter Henry and Will Shipley. I mean, I like Gesicki more. They're ranked next to each other, right? I was baking in ADP, and at the time, I think Gesicki was going like 20 picks after. But yeah, usually going to break the tie towards correlation. I can do those, Bobby. I don't even know what the chat's saying. They're just saying stuff. Joy Taylor got fired. Maybe she wants to become a best ball bro. I've not drafted Ben Sinnott or Luke McCaffrey, but Luke, the Athletic, released a piece on like low-owned guys to draft. And one player to get a shout there was Luke McCaffrey. The article is so funny because the Jags beat guy shouted out, guess. If you haven't read the article, guess who the Jags beat shouted out as the unheralded hero, the breakout candidate. Guess, guys, before I say here. Who do you think was the breakout candidate for the Jags? People are saying Tootin, Hunter, Allen, Diami. No, wrong. None of you will get it. Brian Thomas. The Jags beat said Brian Thomas will be the breakout candidate for the Jags. Whereas the Commanders beat writer said it will be Luke McCaffrey. So clearly a wide range here. Brian Thomas, first round pick in fantasy drafts, is going to be a breakout candidate. Respect to first off, fire the Jags guy. Respect to the Commanders guy who said Luke McCaffrey. And they're, honestly, we're not drafting 3 wide receivers from the Commanders. So, yes, I do want to start taking some Luke McCaffrey. Justin, appreciate the super chat. Are you in this? Are you in this draft with me? Homie Closet 3. Will do, brother. We got to land this plane, though. Let's do Higbee. I like Higbee. Just thinking about, yeah, why not? Short the Terrence Ferguson team. Stacks with Stafford, too. I think Ferg got drafted, too. Yeah. Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, Stafford. James Cook, James Conner, Quinshon Judkins, Tyron Tracy, Isaac Garando, Austin Eckler. Puka Nacua, Drake London, Terry McLaurin, Jameson Williams, Jaden Reed, Christian Kirk, Kate Otten, Juwan Johnson, Tyler Higbee. Yeah, don't think we're weak anywhere. If you want to say tight end is our weakest position, I will accept your premise. But, 3 guys who could fall into the end zone. Higbee rarely drafted, of course. Only 6 wide receivers, but quite logical when you start with 3 wide receivers. Get a 4th soon after, get a 5th soon after, and then get a 6th who I feel good about. 6 running backs, 2 anchors, maybe a good pick, maybe a terrible pick, maybe a good pick, maybe a terrible pick. Upside piece should give me some weeks at worst. And then, 3 quarterbacks who I feel good about, right? Love and Stroud flop lag could totally see that happening. Homie Claus, super chat and drafted from the 3 slot. Oh, Justin, we're going to rate Justin's team first. He didn't ask for it, but I'm assuming he wants this since he did super chat. We're going to do Justin, and then we're going to do Anonymous Lig. I don't know what that means. Jefferson, JT, Tyreek, Devonta Smith, Hurts. So Smith and Hurts. David Montgomery. Seems fine. Montgomery with Jefferson. Golden, Higgins, Coleman. So I like the balanced start you have right now. You got a quarterback, you got 2 running backs, you got a bunch of wideouts. Kraft, who I like a lot. Tootin, huge upside swing. Yeah, I would have just taken McCarthy here. I understand you said you don't like him, but you bet on Jefferson. You also bet on Tyreek. So it's like, it's not crazy. Like if you really like Ferguson, which I would say that there's a big tier break after Ferguson for the tight end. So I do accept your premise that, hey, this guy shouldn't really take JJ or Tua. Even if he does, I can take the other one. Ferguson versus Brenton Strange is a big tier gap. Like, I would accept that. So I don't think it's crazy to just prefer Tua straight up, but I'm probably just taking JJ because his ADP is 120, right? So it's more rare. Roshan, who I had a ton to start. I'm just getting less because he got more expensive, but I like him. Diami Brown with Tootin. I like that correlation. Will Shipley with Hurts. Seems good. Keenan. And then Aronde Gadsden, who, I personally think Tyler Conklin is ahead of him in the order, but he's getting some buzz. So could be a 0. He's going to be low owned regardless. Why not? Homie Claus, I think, was the guy, right? By the way, Airborne, thanks for becoming a member. Become a YouTube member like Airborne. Number 3, Bijan and Bucky. Nice start. I love Bucky's week 17. I usually take Taylor over Bucky, but it's really splitting hairs. Devontae, Metcalf, Waddle, Pearsall, Igbuka. So I like it. You got 2 anchor running backs and 5 wide receivers. Waddle and Igbuka, week 17 correlation. Bijan and Adams, week 17 correlation. Baker with Igbuka. Jordan Mason, everyone's favorite 9th round running back. Tyler Warren. Again, I like Loveland more than Warren. I like Njoku more than Warren. I like Kraft more than Warren. But it's not crazy, right? No real week 17 correlation breaking you that way. But obviously, any of these tight ends could be the key, I think. Spears, who I also like a lot. I guess he's just getting more expensive because I've not been getting him as much, but I had a huge bag of him in the big board. Penix, you took with Bijan. Kind of a weird week 17 correlation, but fine enough. You added Pitts to make that a cleaner bet. Demario Douglas, who I like a lot just because I think Kyle Williams is a little egregiously priced. Rodgers with Metcalf, of course. Jarquez Hunter. I'm personally team Blake Corum, but there's really no, it's just a guess, you know. Chig, who I also like, third tight end. And then Dante Thornton, who, I mean, for a time being, he was like climbing in drafts a lot, but now I guess he's back in the 18th. So it seems like both of you guys built some good teams there. Unfortunately, I'm getting one of the advanced rate spots, so y'all are going to have to fight for the other one. Q, the Joker, breaking the pool queue. And I don't think I don't think you had to take Rodgers as a third quarterback, but why not, right? Let's just look at the big dog. The big dog. Any big dogs out there? 5 more? Can we fill that? Let's see. We'll tweet it out. Five more for big dog on underdog. Always tag underdog because Rodman will retweet you. We're going to do drafters regardless soon. Putting this in my Discord under the live draft call out section too. Rip a rookie and sophomores while we wait. Yeah, we can do that. That's a good idea. This is where you want to get your Luke McCaffrey. Okay, so these are 4-person drafts. Wide receiver, tight end equals wide receiver plus tight end. I'm not going to do a ton of these, 20K to first, but they are fun. Let's see. Just going to learn on the fly. 4-person drafts. Where did it go? 1 out of 4, 1 out of 8, 1 out of 7, 200-person finals. So quite a big final, in my opinion. Ooh, the 101. This is tough. I personally kind of think Jaden should be the 101 in this. What is our roster? That I didn't look at. Oh, I love how they added the little exclaim there. 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 1 flex, 1 bench, underdog. We got to fix this. We can't have quarterback on the bottom. 1 quarterback. I mean, Gene there's a lot of running backs to like. Obviously, there's quarterbacks to like too, right? Like Bo, whatever. Neighbors and Thomas also pretty nice. We're just going to rip Jaden Daniels. Why not? We didn't get him last draft. We're getting him here. A gift. A gift to Mike. You can have GT. If you advance with a 2-quarterback team, and a lot of people have 3 quarterbacks, are you, generally speaking, at an advantage because you probably have a valuable handcuff or breakout player? I mean, it's hard to say, right? Like, you can advance in spite of your quarterbacks. You could be better because Probably your just like skill players are better, or you drafted the right 2 quarterbacks, right? Look, if you could just draft the right 2 quarterbacks, no one would draft 3 quarterbacks ever. We'll do Marvin and then Hampton. I think the opportunity cost at running back is bigger, right? And this is kind of why I'm okay with Jaden at 1, because, okay, he got Gene T, obviously a better pick. Bucky, obviously a better pick. But Hampton was a first-round running back. And I get Jaden. It's throwing me off too. But right, like let's just say Baker and Matt Stafford together combined give you 25 points a week, every single week. Then there's no need for a third. Neighbors and Brian Thomas, that's a fun start. I almost got Bucky, which is crazy. Somewhat unique, Luis. CMC was going at the 1-2 turn, though, for most, and he still does go there sometimes. Yeah, again, I think I'm going to take the running backs here. I think wide receiver will work out for us. Hampton, Henderson, Harvey, that gives me a nice trio. Only 1 running back, but also they're going to hit in my flex. Do need 2 wide receivers, tight ends, which we're going to draft a lot of those guys. And I might just draft 1 quarterback. If there's a quarterback to be had in round 12, I'll do it, but I'm perfectly happy eating the 0 Jaden Daniels bye week. Like, Jaden Daniels is either way out advancing the field or he isn't. This is rookie and sophomores. Yeah, I agree. Tracy is a good pick for this. But if he's a smash in this contest, he's a good pick in Best Ball Mania too. I don't know, Chuck, but you repeated it, so I'll highlight it on screen. Okay. Let's do Higgins. Man, seeing the tight ends as wide receivers does break your brain. And Judkins. Why is Scadabo's ADP straight up over Judkins in this? We're starving the beast at running back. If the chat really wants, I could do one. But for me, no, not really. I don't know what this, like, are you asking if I only did 1 airborne? What's this have to do with maxing BBM? In general, I prefer elite quarterback. We're going to go Keon. How many picks do you get in this? 5. I should probably be done at running back then. Tootin is tempting, though. We're taking Keon for sure. You know what? No, the pass catchers dries up, so we're going to go Loveland too. Unowned Luke McCaffrey in the 12th round. I prefer elite quarterback because they're just far more likely to separate in a half-point format, right? You know, like Lamar versus Jordan Love. Brock Bowers and Trey McBride versus Dalton Kincaid, David Njoku, Tucker Kraft, etc. You know, like those guys are more likely to just outdo the elite tight ends in a given week. I mean, how do you stack Daniels in this, dude? The only way is to get Luke McCaffrey and Ben Sinnott. All the running backs are going, playing into our hand. This is why we took 4 early. Even if Judkins is a 0, that's fine. Yeah, getting Tyler Warren here feels good. And I guess we'll take a second quarterback just because. I mean, Cam Ward is going to start every game. So, like, that's pretty valuable. And then we can stack Cam Ward or Jaden Daniels with our last pick. Like, pretty nice wide receiver room. Marvin, Jaden Higgins, Keon, and then we get both the tight ends, Loveland and Warren. Again, I don't think Cam Ward was essential, but it is 20 picks past his ADP, if ADP means anything in this. And the next quarterback, like, when I see that the next quarterback is Dart, you know, like, okay, now I have a huge leg up on this guy at quarterback. Because I get Jaden versus May and I get Ward versus Dart. Obviously, I like May too, but we're going to do it just because Luke McCaffrey never gets drafted, myself included. Perfect. You know, Elkai Minor, we could do those guys, but we did Mr. McCaffrey. Boom. Daniels, Cam Ward, Hampton, Henderson, Harvey, Judkins, Marvin, Higgins, Keon, Loveland, Tyler Warren, and the key to us winning rookies and sophomores, Luke McCaffrey. Is this a big dog? No, dude, that was not a big dog. That was a rookies and sophomores. 70. Streamed 7:15. Let me let my cat out of the office. All right. I got to redo this because it will annoy me. Clean desktop change for Underdog. 7:15 streamed. Boom. Big dog 8-12. Yes. I mean, it is a consideration if you can do it, Steve, right? Like Isaac Garendo, Caleb Williams seems good, but I mean, how much strategy can you have in the rookies and sophomores? Four more? Are we getting this? So close, yet so far. Let's go into some Discords. 4 more big dog. We'll go into Davis's too. 4 more big dog. We'll go into Pat's too. 4 more big dog. Let's go on the underdog one too. I don't even know if this is a thing. Let's see. Underdog. Football. Best ball. 4 more big dog. We live streaming. Let the people know in the underdog Discord. Gritty and the big dog? I don't know. I don't know if the gritty. I don't know if we're ready for that. Thank you, sir. At everyone in the underdog Discord. I'm sure that's disabled like it is in mine. Justin, you can go back and look at my last stream and you can see that for yourself, my friend. Don't even need to watch it. You could just skip around. Hands up. I had to disable it because of the spam bots. Is he going to win the main event? I mean, dude, that guy is very lucky, right? Obviously, he's skilled, but goes all in with ace jack under the gun, 20 big blinds. Not a thing. Gets called, loses, and then like doubles up 3 times in a row. And now he's second in chips or something. I need a gold chain. You're not wrong, Ty. I did rock a gold chain for a year or so. It wasn't real gold. If I win a best ball tournament or if I win the Golf Open, I'll buy a gold chain. No, I agree. The grinders are good for the game. Obviously, the woman, Leo Margetts, if she wins, that'd be great for poker. Get more women in the game. The other guy that would be good for the game is the like dude who looks like a barbecue dad. Do you feel Jonnu's ADP has settled in yet? On DraftKings, he goes 20 picks ahead. So, yeah, I don't know. On Underdog, I guess. I mean, Underdog is a weird platform where if people are biased against him, like, you know, if the Pete's of the world, if Davis doesn't like him and they say something negative, he's going to keep falling, which I know Davis. I know Davis doesn't like Jonnu, right? So he'll just keep falling. It's not logical, but that's what will happen. I'm not going to, like, this is roughly where I think is fair for him. Just ahead of Isaiah Likely, ahead of Kyle Pitts, ahead of a bunch of unknowns. Like, I like a lot of these guys too. Gesicki, Hunter Henry. I don't think I'll take him at 137 just because you don't need to. So maybe I'll lower him because of that. But, man, I'm never going to take Kyle Pitts straight up over Jonnu. That's like insanity, right? Jesus. Influencer. There is a guy who's a barbecue dad. The guy was playing tight as hell, and now he's like chip leading. Let's see. WSOP. While we wait, there's got to be a picture of these people. Here we go. This guy's the barbecue dad. I think he's a clear wreck, which would be awesome. This guy is like a professional snowboarder. This is the grinder. This is just like these two guys are wrecks, whatever. This guy's a wreck too, whatever, wreck, whatever. This guy had aces the other day, and a guy went all in with kings, and he was stressed about it because he knew he could get unlucky, right? This is the woman. So yeah, best for poker. Number 1, her winning. Number 2, probably this guy winning. Because you want a lot of people to look at the winner and be like, oh, that could be me. And then number 3, probably just Mizrachi for the story. Crazy that we're not going to be like, I'm not going to pay for Poker Go. You're welcome. I mean, does he not, right? See, that's a good story, right? I meant pro. When I said rec for those people, I meant pro. Two more for the big dog. Phil Ivey's in that guy's belly. You know what's crazy is he could win the main event, and I don't think he'd be player of the year. Like when you think of player of the year, you think of someone who won the biggest tournaments, but like I guess Sean Deeb is just going deep in a bunch of events, and that's what player of the year is. When's it start? Maybe I'll watch that on replay the first hour. 2 more people for the big dog. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't really I just go out and play the summer sometimes. My favorite poker player. Dude, should have been me. I would be repping best ball. The great what if for best ball. Yeah, Benny Glazer. 3 bracelet wins. Pretty crazy, yeah. There's a lot of luck in poker, right? It's obviously a skilled game, but when you think about poker, it is a lot of just like flipping and winning all ins. You know, it feels like you have a lot more control in best ball. Because you get 18 picks, you got to think about the strategy. So it's a different thing. I'm sure there are. No, I didn't play it last year. I went to Ireland with the family, which honestly was a lot more better of a time, right? So I don't know if I'll play next year. It is pretty enticing though to be like, oh wow, 10 grand could be 10 million. Pretty sick. I mean, okay, I get what you're saying. It's easy to lucky. Well, poker is just a game that rewards a lot of patience, right? 2 more for the big dog. Oh, says 3 now. Yeah, I got to get one first. This is true. I do not play online poker. It's just so easy to be cheated of your money. And it's not really legal. So I did final table a bracelet event one year, though. Actually, I was chip leading it and then lost a couple all-ins and got like 6th or something. Knocked out Phil Galfond. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not going to do as many 5.55s or big dogs. Probably like keep both around 10 to 20-ish. I mean, if DK can't hit me with the sponsor, then they can get lost too, you know. I'm seeing all these people be like, I'm a DK sponsored dude. All right, guys, I'm giving it 2 minutes and then we're doing drafters. Maybe let's just do drafters and we'll see if the big dog is close after. We tried. Drafters is total points weeks 1 through 17. So this contest, you need to draft the absolute nuts, right? Like this is the one where you need to outscore every single team in the contest. There's no pod luck, right? It's you against all 140,000 teams. Now, nice thing about drafters is multifold. Number one, use promo code Cheslium if you're not up and running there. Number two, the contest usually overlays, meaning it does not fill. So you're competing with less people for a guaranteed prize pool. I've not done that, Rhino, but makes sense to me. Unique combos even more powerful on drafters. Once this contest fills, we'll give out a free ticket. We do need 5 more. My drafters promo code is below. It's also right here. Did a Dalmatian on stream the other day. 2 more. This is your chance. We're gonna delete our own Discord message, but we'll leave it in the other ones. Cool idea, maybe hard to implement. Let's get it. Bobbert won the ticket the other time. It is Total Points Tuesday. There's this building next to me. You can ask, but the answer is no. We don't show you our exposures until the end of contest. We give out a lot of EV. No need to tell you exactly what percent I've drafted people. Other streamers do that, so you can get that fix from them. Not hard to see who I like either, I generally say. Drafters runs promos all the time. All right, we filled. We are the 110. Comment your drafter's username. We're going to do a 30-second clock. When this hits 0, I'm going to highlight the name. Just keep spamming your drafter's username. Winner will receive a free ticket. If you already won recently, you can't win again. So, Bobbert, I'm sorry. You're out. You're out for this one. If you get highlighted, you won 2 recently. It's only fair, right? We got to spread the love. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cleepor. Congratulations, sir. Messaging that right now. If you misspelled your own name, that's on you. Wonderful drafter's name. Congrats, Clepor. You could say that this giveaway I do is biased against the boomers because they can't type as fast. So for the boomers out there, I'm your fan. What you got to do there is copy, Control C, and then just keep on doing Control V, and we'll paste for you. Congrats to Clepor. Ugh. Let's build a shipper. Come on now, Nolan. You can always tell how many drafts someone's done on Drafters. Unless their name is just so long. Generally think elite quarterback not as good on Drafters. Although if you can find league winners later, well, then elite quarterback's obviously the nuts. Now, I've not updated my ADPs on Drafters, so gonna do updated Drafters and eliminator rankings soon. So we might need to sort by ADP at some point. Should be fine mostly. The really only things that have changed is like some minutia. The Jonnu Smith trade. Even if you subscribe to rankings, I think you should occasionally just draft off ADP anyways. Just get a little different. Before rankings existed, ADP. Yeah, nice, fun start. Nico and Achan. Potentially the wide receiver 1 and RB 1. Hard to beat that. Judkins probably goes much later here. Showing an ADP of 86. I mean, he's not like a big pass catcher anyways, right? Drafters is PPR. Well, drafting off ADP does not mean you just take the highest ADP player, Benny. It's just seeing like, oh, okay, like let's pick at 34, 39. Like, okay. Oh, I really like both Kyron and DJ Moore. Those are my two guys. Who should I take first at pick 34? Oh, I should take Kyron because he has a lower ADP and I'm less likely to get him at pick 39. That way I'm more likely to get DJ Moore, right? Like that's just an example. You should go to bed, sir. Phew. I'm pretty sure you can just add up your historical stuff there, Christopher. Because drafters like Underdog keeps your history. My team's history. So you can just add this up. Add these numbers up. Boom. So I've done 453 drafts on drafters. I hung out with the drafters founder in Vegas. He bought me dinner. Bracelet winner. Only $950? The 30-second clocks do feel slow after 20-second clocks. Seems like Josh Jacobs has a lower ADP on drafters. Interesting. The first week, you could get Tyreek at the 3-4 turn. So I have some drafters teams with Tyreek at picks 36 and 37. I think I'm going to do one of the quarterbacks. Josh. Why not? Pretty sure it was founded in Canada, Bobby. So, yes, I do think it's in Canada. Would be weird if it was founded in Canada and no Canada. I'm very, very confident it is in Canada. Promo code Chesley. Mike Evans, James Cook, both are tempting. Let's do Cook. Feels a little bit more unique. Seeing as his ADP is 46 on this site. Achane and Cook, 2 running backs I like as an anchor. Let's look at an early drafters team I did. See if we're cooking with any gas. Let's find one with Tyreek. Yeah, okay. So this had Tyreek at pick 36. That's why you should get the rankings to beat bestball.com early. We are ready. We went Puka, Nico, Tyreek, Breece Hall, Addison Olave, Pollard, Jonnu. Okay, that's a bad ADP. Pacheco, Swift. 3 ADPs that are very good right now. Tyreek, Pacheco, Swift. Both these guys have gone up. Stroud with Nico. Also, Nico Puka. Puka at the 12. Woo! Shaheed, Stafford with Puka. Kyle Pitts. Sam Darnold. I think I just wanted a third quarterback. J.K. Dobbins, pick 181. My God, did we draft the winner in our first draft ever? Cole Kmet. That feels bad, I'll be honest. 3 week 5 buys. Elikai Minor, who I auto-drafted. I do remember auto-drafting this because I've drafted almost none of him, but hey, feels better. Here, 2-2, Jarquez Hunter. So pretty gas team. Not perfect ADP values everywhere, but overall getting Pacheco, Swift, Puka and Nico and Tyreek like this, you can't do this anymore. So valuable. Tight end. I mean, I like having Jonnu, even with him going down in price. Team feels good. Let's look at another one. Looking for. Let's just look at our second one. We did take CMC in this one. Amon-Ra and CMC, Cook and Rice. The Rice Metcalf value, Godwin, Jaden Reed pick 83, Mahomes, Bo Nix, and Jordan Love, Kincaid, Hollywood Brown, Tank Bigsby, Rashad White, Otten Eckler, Chigakonkwo, Demario Douglas, J.K. Dobbins pick 227. Gas. Straight gas. Oh no. We need wideouts pretty bad. Let's do Rome. Why not? If Rome hits, he's going to be a big hit. That's not what I'm saying, Tyler. Right? Because I don't have Tyler with Jamar. I don't have Tyreek with Jamar Chase. So if Jamar Chase is the number one guy you had to have, well, then having Tyreek with Puka and Nico doesn't matter. Not for sale, sir. Yeah, we just need the wideouts here. We'll do Juwan. Third and Juwan. Let's go back and look at that team. Monroe, CMC, Cook, Rice, Metcalf, Godwin, Reed, Mahomes, Bo Nix, Jordan Love, Kincaid, Hollywood, Tank, Rashad White, who's also gone up in price, Cade Otten, Austin Eckler, who's also gone up in price, Chigakonkwo, Demario Douglas, J.K. Dobbins, Devon Bailey. I mean, what a gas team. What's the weak point? 3 stacked quarterbacks. Even took a random Devon Bailey and fell into the Bo Nix, J.K. Dobbins stack. Could be. Is this a winner? I'm sure they're not all good values, but we'll look at one more. Puka, Bowers, Terry, Daniels. So all that's normal. Metcalf. Yeah, I was big into Metcalf before he went up in price. Still like Metcalf, but thought his fall was silly. Chuba, Jaden Reed, 82. Warren, and ETN. Didn't draft a lot of ETN, but do have some. Christian Kirk, David Njoku. Ooh, Rashid Shaheed. Trey Benson, Matt Stafford, Jalen Wright. Josh Palmer, Darius Slayton, Marshawn Lloyd, Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell. Not as crazy ADP values on this one, right? Like Metcalf's an ADP value. Reed is a little bit of a value. Chuba, a little bit of a value. Still a nice team. Wow. That'd be sick. Just win $500K on drafters. I've never really had a huge sweat on drafters. Total points is an interesting sweat because it's like, somewhat soon whether, like week 7, week 8, week 9, week 10, you should know by then, like whether you're in the running to win or not. I guess Jaden Reed is not a value seeing his ADP on drafters. Looks like all these mid-range running backs go higher. Which makes me going Cook earlier feel good. Because the Caleb Johnson, Pollard, DeAndre Swift, remember, we had that first draft, we had DeAndre Swift to pick 100. Swift, Pacheco, I got both those guys pretty high. Let's see what ADP says. I mean, my friend Tolan, who watches my channel, he got like 5th in drafters one year. I think we're just going to go Pacheco here. Has a strong chance to be a league winner. Leverages off a Chiefs passing game. You know, does he have risk? Yes, but risk is not really a thing you care about in total points. Yeah, I mean, do people not realize that like 45 yards for a week 1 prop isn't even that crazy? It's like pretty high, you know? I like Warren. Yeah, it's like it's a different like the eliminator and total points. They're different sweats to Best Ball Mania, right? Contest with playoff pods. Because in both the eliminator and total points, most people don't have a sweat at the end. But the few who do, it's a huge sweat. I mean, I like Brian Robinson. His best case to be a league winner is just to fall into a bunch of touchdowns. Could happen. Doesn't seem as clean and out. You know, he's going to be competing with Jaden Daniels for rushing touchdowns. Pacheco just needs to be the best running back on the Chiefs. So feels like a good start. Allen, Achane, Cook, Pacheco, Nico, Rome, Jennings, Matthew Golden. Somewhat, Chris, right? Like, yeah, you can have like you should look at the article I put on beatbestball.com. It's free about total points. It looks at the pass scoring teams. So like no one's gonna build the optimal, right? But it is true. You are competing with every single team in the contest. So uniqueness is a lot more valuable in this, right? Going Nico and T. Higgins, like someone said, is a lot more valuable in this than in Best Ball Mania because in this you need to beat every single team. My early teams with Tyreek Hill in the 3rd round is a lot more valuable in this because you have to beat every single team. But there is a lot like, and in some certain years, there are going to be guys who you just simply need to have, right? Like last year to win, you simply had to have Jamar Chase, period. You simply had to have Saquon, period. You almost certainly had to have Derrick Henry, right? There are going to be other years where it's like, well, you could have gotten there with Lamb. You could have gotten there with Nico. You could have gotten there with Chase. You could have gotten there with Bijan. But yeah, I would read this article. Let's see. I like Njoku. We're going to do Trey Harris, though. This article went over the past 2 years total points teams. It's free. You got to subscribe, I think, but it's free. I went over like the most common builds at the top. Drafters is going to send me this data soon for this past year, by the way, and then I'll be able to add to this article the top 10 builds in a given year. Top 10 builds. Then I showed you the top 10 teams. So this was 2022, I believe. I don't know. This is 23. So the best team was AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Josh Jacobs. But then this team was CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Debo, right? So like this team was Amon-Ra, Devontae Debo. This team was AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Ramondre. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb was well represented here. This team didn't have, it just had Tyreek, Devonta, Keenan. Right? So there's a lot of different ways. This team had Tyreek, Derrick Henry, Gibbs. In this year, this 2022, Jefferson, T. Higgins, Tyreek, Jefferson, Mike, Tyreek, Travis Kelce, Saquon, Mike Williams, Juju. Right? So there's a lot of different ways to get there. Note that this team, Hurts and Zach Wilson, this guy did not have a quarterback for like 2 to 3 weeks to end the year because Zach was benched and Hurts was hurt. So this guy won with a 0 at quarterback. Yeah, there's a lot of teams in the top 100 who go 2 QB. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2. Right? In general, more top scoring teams are building 2 quarterbacks, 2.3 quarterbacks, 2.5 quarterbacks. And I think that's logical because the Sims are trying to optimize, like, and why people are going 3 quarterback. Like, they're trying to optimize for what's on average good. You're not trying to be on average good. You're trying to be the nuts. I'm talking more about the top 10 stat. But yeah, I haven't looked at the data yet. I like making the swing for fences bet with Trey Harris for this wide receiver room. Absolutely, right? But for this, you're trying to build the highest scoring team. So you're simply just trying to draft the right 2 quarterbacks. Some crazy falls. Don't think there's any reason but to just take CJ Stroud here and be done at quarterback, right? Stroud with Nico, Josh Allen, and James Cook. It kind of depends, Todd. You know, Ty, if I got in the gym, maybe. I think I'm a little old. I used to be fast, though. You know, it depends. Like, going Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson, going the year Kyron Williams smashed, going Kyron Williams and Zach Evans. Like, that was good, right? Yeah, we're just going to take Dalton Kincaid. I do like Loveland a little bit more, but Kincaid for the stack, of course. We needed a tight end. Going like Najee and Hampton, that would probably be bad, right? And in big GPP best ball, I think handcuffing is fine. There's plenty of ways that pays out. I like getting flop lag Stroud, the year after he disappoints. Okay, his O-line is bad, but Jaden Higgins, Nico, Christian Kirk could work out. For this team to win, needs Achane, Cook, and Pacheco to all three be league winners. Or for me to find some league winning running backs later. Need Nico to be probably the best wide receiver in the first round. Need Rome to probably be the best wide receiver pick on the Bears. Need Juwan Jennings to be a smash. Need Golden, Shaheed, and Trey Harris to give me some huge games. That's the other thing in drafters is if a player does score 50 points, you're probably going to need them. So for example, the year Achane and Mostert wrecked wild, you needed Achane to win that year. Simply putting in 50 points into your running back slot where other people put in 20 is a huge gap, right? Yeah, this one's kind of expensive, so I think it's in general bad to do for this. But sure, you got trade outs. Almost every trade out is thin, right? Like Devontae Adams getting traded last year, it was thin. It happened, but it was thin. So I'm going to be stopping at 2 quarterbacks for sure. Maybe if Tua, who's already gone, had fallen to 178, okay, sure. But in general, I'm probably going to need the firepower elsewhere. Yeah, I don't think this one's crazy. Certainly going to go at least 3 tight ends. Quarterback's pretty dead anyway, so it makes the Stroud pick feel awesome. Random golf fall. The Amon-Ra drafter took Hollywood Brown. But he took Burrow and Fields, so he was done at quarterback. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Trey Benson guy, but I think we're just gonna take him here. We don't have James Conner, so preferably for this team, James Conner gets hurt early, and then Trey Benson is a league winner. Man, Kyle Pitts. Could use all these positions, to be honest with you. We're going to go tank. T. Benson, T. Bigsby. Bigsby will have some standalone. Could be a league winner, right? Division correlation against Stroud is nice to have. Probably going to build a 2-6-9-3. I mean, yeah, Bengals RB2 is not something we know. The market rarely drafts Bengals RB2. Zach Moss could be a league winner. He could medically retire due to his neck. Like, we don't know. Could be Taj Brooks. Could just be P. Ryan as like the third down back. Yeah, if you like 20 rounds, Drafters is for you. I personally feel a little light at wide receiver here, but at least every single wide receiver has a different buy on my team except for Rome and Golden. And again, we're going to end up with 9 of them. So just need to nail some guys late. And or I need Rome to be a league winner. I need Jennings to be a league winner. I need Golden to be a borderline league winner, right? Nice to have pieces of the Bears and Packers. Obviously, division correlation. Texans and Jags. Bills and Dolphins. Chargers and Chiefs. Arizona and San Fran. Building a lot of stacks like that. We got Samson at 150, Ford at 174 in this draft. Okay, Jonnu. I was always going to take Jonnu ahead of Josh Palmer anyways. He feels awesome as a second tight end. Like, now I feel tight end is a legitimate strength of my team. Kincaid and Jonnu. Which, you know, you can't really punt off any position and win this. Josh Palmer obviously stacks with Josh. We're going to do Cade Otton to be done at tight end. I just like Cade. Kincaid, Jonnu, Otton. Jonnu at pick 180. Oof. He's a better pick on PPR too, right? Like, if Jonnu is a hit for the Steelers, it's going to be off of, 5-6 catches and he gets yak. Either Jaden Higgins or Kirk, probably. With a contest like the Dalmatian, where it's a 23-person final, but week 16, you need to be first of 8. Do you throw in some correlation for week 16 at all with your teams? Yeah, usually week 16 correlation, just a happy accident for me. I think there's some validity to what you're saying, though. Definitely a big year for Kincaid. If you care about how NFL execs ranked players, I think the execs ranked Kincaid as like a top 10 tight end. So So 4 more picks here. It's going to be 1 running back and 3 wideouts for me. I like Otten more than like Mason Taylor. I think I caught the tail end of a tier there. I would have taken Gesicki over Otten. Ertz too, just because of ADP. But I do like Otten quite a bit more than Mason and Darren Waller and co. I mean, we were drafting Jonnu at 100, so we're certainly drafting him at 180. I don't even really know what mic slurping means from the YouTube commenters. I'm assuming it's when I drink into my mic. Obviously, low-owned guys are very valuable in this, simply drafting players that other people do not. Because if you're right and they're low-owned, well, now you might not be competing with that many teams. Or take Marshawn Lloyd as our last running back. Feels quite good to be betting on potentially the Packers RB2 in the 17th. Not low-owned, 100% drafted, but doesn't always have to be. Very wide range, Mr. Mufasa. Okay, we got to get some wideouts now. This guy was probably upset. Oh, no, he went Rodgers after. Yeah, the draft capital is why I like Blake Corum too. Parker Washington, wow. Unstacked quarterbacks, I think it's going to be hard to win with them. Yeah, why not? The risk with Yoshi Voss is that it's Jermaine Burton. But it's a risk we're taking here. He could also just get better too, you know? Added weight. 1, 2, 3, 4 games last year. Piece of the Bengals, how bad can the bet be? Probably the biggest one is that it overlays over cat, meaning it does not fill. It's not as popular as Underdog and DraftKings, so their contests usually don't fill. So they eat overlay, which when the overlay is big enough, it just perfectly covers the rake and or becomes negative rake. I have drafted both on teams, but no, both of them, you know, could be Mike Gesicki has a smash year, right? Having Yoshi Voss with Otten and Jonnu instead of Gesicki also is some leverage off Gesicki. There's like infinite examples though of this. Tank Bigsby was like the worst running back his rookie year, was fine year 2. Kyle Monungai. So our team, Josh Allen and CJ Stroud. Achane, Cook, Pacheco, Trey Benson, Tank Bigsby, Marshawn Lloyd, Nico Collins, Roma Dunze, Juwan Jennings, Matthew Golden, Rashid Shaheed, Trey Harris, Andre Yoshivas, Dalton Kincaid, Jonnu Smith, and Cade Otton. Definitely feel thinnest at wideout. Maybe a tad thin-ish at running back, but this running back room is fine. It's really just like, do I get the points at wide receiver? So with that in mind, probably want to swing for the fences. Hard to do. By the way, Mike Williams is on PUP. Doesn't mean it's over for him, but is true. Because Noah Brown and Luke McCaffrey are competing. We're going to take Curtis Samuel, get a low-owned piece of the Bills. I guess Elijah Moore gets drafted more than him. He got hurt in practice, but I mean, honestly, it could work out for Mike Williams, right? Like, just need him to return later. And we're going to take Tolbert here. Piece of the Cowboys. How bad can it be? Josh Allen and CJ Stroud, Achane, Cook, Pacheco, Trey Benson, Tank Bigsby, Marshawn Lloyd, Nico, Rome, Juwan Jennings, Matthew Golden, Rashid Shaheed, Trey Harris, Andre Yoshivas, Curtis Samuel, Jalen Tolbert, Dalton Kincaid, Jonnu, and Cade Otton. Real question is, did we draft the right wide receivers, right? If it's not Rome, if it's not Jennings, if it's not Golden, then this draft ain't it. If these guys are all the best picks in the rounds, okay, we got a chance here. If Yoshivas, Samuel, and Tolbert, like this combo can be the nuts too, we also got a chance. 3 tight ends, Josh and Stroud, that's fine enough. Achane, Cook, a lot relies on them as well. Pacheco as well. I like the team overall. All right, folks, that's what it's going to be for today. 2 hours of best ball drafts. Appreciate you being here. Like, subscribe, join the Discord. Link is below. Beatbestball.com for rankings. We'll have updated drafters rankings and eliminators rankings, and at least 1 article coming out this week, maybe 2. Also going to do some pre-recorded videos. Seems like those were popular. So when I drop some pre-recorded videos, be sure to interact with those. Should help the algo. Appreciate you folks. Enjoy your day. Peace.